So if we can go live and then welcome everyone to the West of England Joint Committee. My name is Ian Bolton, I'm co-leader of South Gloss and I will be chairing this meeting. Apologies for running a little late, there were problems with the trains today, so we were just waiting for everyone to attend if you're watching online, so apologies for the slight delay here. Okay. So, membership and apologies for absence. We obviously know of Mike from North Somerset who fell ill earlier this morning and asked me to step in, so he sends his apologies, and given the lateness of that notice, he didn't think he'd be able to arrange for a substitute, so we don't have anyone from North Somerset here today. Do we have any other apologies for absence at all? And membership is as on the list on the agenda. Declarations of interest. Do members have any interest to declare? No. The minutes of the meeting held on the 26th of July 2024. Those are pages 5 to 10 in our pack and have been circulated with the meeting papers. Are members happy, please, for these minutes to be confirmed as a correct record of that meeting? Okay, thank you. In that case, item 4 is the Chair's announcements. To receive any announcements from myself as Chair, and we don't have anything today, so we move straight on to item 5, items from the public, and we have up to 30 minutes to have statements from members of the public, who each have 3 minutes maximum speaking time per statement. I have 5 people who have notified us that they wish to speak, starting with Gary. If Gary could make himself known. Thank you, Gary. So you have 3 minutes maximum speaking time.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, obviously we were on the 1st of September. There was a lot of bus cuts, obviously, through Greater Bristol and obviously through South Gloucestershire, with the Y1 obviously not now going to Chipping Sudbury, the Y6 roughly now being every hour and a half, obviously 90 minutes. Also the 19, obviously, which comes from Bath, obviously service to Kingswood and Staple Hill. That does not run in the evening, so obviously, so people who work at Southmead Hospital, like doctors, nurses, and all that, obviously, unfortunately, now cannot get back there, when they finish a late shift in the evening. To be honest, I think it's absolutely diabolical, obviously, that the services, obviously, the way now that the bus services actually run, it is absolutely shocking. Especially, with Wootton Under Edge, Charfield, Whitmore, and all them other places literally being cut off. I think there is a proposal, for a 40 service, from Stroud to Wootton Under Edge, and now via Chipping Sudbury. I think Chris Hanson, manager of Stagecoach, who I knows very, very well, he was a manager of First West of England in Bristol. I think he's looking into that, and hopefully that will be put forward. But the bus services has gone deeper. It's absolutely shocking. Like you said, with the Y1, why it was cut off from Chipping Sudbury. It's only gone as far as the 8 and 19 service in Bath. It's not running in the evenings now when it should do. So really speaking, there's no connections now to UWE or to Bristol Parkway Station or nothing like that from Southmead Hospital or nothing, or to Kingswood or to Staple Hill, where all these people live, do their daily work, and especially professional people like doctors and nurses, who need to get back. I think it's absolutely appalling.
Thank you very much, Gary, for your contribution. Yes, we'll look into your comments, get a response back to you on that, and I think we all have a great deal of sympathy for that, and you'll notice that in the papers later we are looking at how we can use the powers that the government are introducing to help us solve some of the problems that you quite rightly raise. Thank you very much, Gary. Then I have Christina. Christina, welcome.
Representing Friends of Suburban Destroyers, which are now called Bristol Rail Campaign. So Yes, so we're delighted that Ashley Down Station is about to open. We'll be running our own event on the Saturday morning, because that'll be the first public service, so you're all welcome. And I think and it's brilliant that it's only half a year after Portway, well, a year. So things are happening. It's really good to see that. I suppose the only issue about Ashley Down is that the train service, of course, will initially be fairly restricted once hourly. And we're kind of wondering whether we can take the opportunity to include Stapleton Road and Lawrence Hill on northbound services. At the moment, if you want to get on the train at Stapleton Road, Lawrence Hill, you have to go back to Temple Meads to go northwards. So there is going to be a Transport for Wales have suggested a service through from Cardiff, stopping service. So let's throw Pilning in while we're at it, Patchway. Let's stop all the way along that line. There's lots of people living in all these places. Secondly, Portishead, it's frustrating, you could say. We're grateful that Dan Norris is quietly confident, but I think we just need to really push it. You've got all our support. As you know, we did a little event the other week, and we're very willing to advocate at whatever forum you might suggest. I'm going to go to Western Gateway in 2nd October, make the case there. Finally, tram trains. So obviously it's lovely that Future for West is being looked at. We would just continue to advocate for tram trains as opposed to just straight light rail or bus, because in Cardiff, this is happening in Cardiff, so you run a suburban train onto the roads, so you have the same gauge, it's a fairly simple concept, same vehicle, same track, and then it's a seamless experience. And our first suggestion is actually to go from Temple Meads up to the centre here as a tram train. That would benefit the whole region. Pretty much everyone wants to get to Bristol at some point. It's a frustratingly long walk, I would say, from Temple Meads. The buses kind of work, but wouldn't it be great to start the mass transit there? Then obviously you want to extend to Thornbury to the north, Radstock to the south, hopefully at some point. And don't forget rail bus interchange, so stopping the buses at the railway stations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christina. And I note that I've also put you down to read a statement from Rob Dixon. Is that?
I've done that now.
Thank you very much. Okay, and next we have Dave. Welcome, Dave.
I think everybody's looking at the future, but let's bring it down to earth a minute. This is a transport authority and has to function, getting people to work, to school, to college, to hospitals. That's what it's given BSIP money for with North Somerset Council. And by the way, I welcome North Somerset. Welcome North Somerset. Now asking Secretary of State Angela Rayner to join this authority, Deputy Minister, on their executive. Very supportive by communities that are involved in what is a city region, and that should go forward, I hope. But on the public transport, we can talk about the future. Franchising takes 3 or 4 years. So that's great, and Dan understands that, but he also knows that the unitary councils, the 3 of you or 4 of you, have to pay the transport levy to make that work through the BSIP as well. The present situation that developed on the 1st September, none of us on your bus advisory panel ever saw properly the changes. Let's be fair, and the board. That's for the public record. We understand also that Linda, I can't think, Cohen, I think, go. Anyway, the Transport Focus member is now retired, so we now need to get a new person to chair the bus advisory board and panel. I'm going to suggest today, I've told Dan, Clyde Dudd's been put on to the Western Gateway, very much welcomed, and I welcome Kevin Slocum in this organisation very much, because we need to have a politician chairing that bus advisory panel, not an officer, a politician. And we also need to bring a director of buses in. We've had a consultant running it for far too long and past your experience. So please take that on board. I'm grateful for all these lovely new officers you've got, including your colleague over there. They're now running the top table, but we now need to look at the second table down and make sure the bus department works. It's a good lot of people. I work with them very well. But we can't have a situation, as Gary said, where we don't have buses that run from Wotton to Edge, MPs raising debates in the House of Commons, which happened on the rural transport. That's Simon Orford. And the cross-party and Gloucestershire County Council have written to Dan asking for an urgent discussion on the cross-border bus services. Gloucestershire, South Gloucestershire are one economic unit, in fact, in the north of the county. Wootton-under-Edge is KLB, it's the doctors, the surgeries, and also people in your own constituency and can't simply get to and from the hospitals in the evenings, can't get to Bristol Parkway. And certainly we never agreed that First should be allowed to cut services, Chipping, Salisbury at any panel. And those are government-funded services. They're not services run commercially by First Group, the BSIP services. So we have to go through a process of a panel and a board discussion to make sure that happens. So please, can we ask the four leaders, please, to look at the bus improvement panel. I've spoken to our great chief executive here about the problems we're having, and I'm hoping that we solve it on the 27th. But that's that. And on the railways, that's great. We still have no disabled access at Bristol Parkway Station, which is a concern. But we need to pursue and get the planning permission sorted out for Hembury and get on with Charfield, Filton, and obviously the Porter's Headline. Absolutely. But it's as Malcolm Parsons, who I hope doesn't leave us that quick, head of your rail directorate, says, every journey starts with a bus, or will start in a component where you will travel on a bus, a taxi. And finally, can I please ask we look at Westlink, because I couldn't get a Westlink in South Gloucestershire for the last 4 occasions, even to a funeral. They're just not out there, and we seem to have taxis running on Westlink services. There needs to be an understanding of what's going wrong there. Westlink is failing out in the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dave. Really appreciate your feedback. You are probably one of our most critical friends on this, and we're really grateful for that. So thank you. Yeah, thank you, and it's much appreciated. Thank you. And finally, I have Jackie on my list here. Jackie, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Well, first things first, thank you for creating West Local and for funding our 2 new routes in the Chew Valley, which you've got the timetables in front of you. These routes are already transforming many people's lives and facilitating individual mode shifts from car to bus, which is what our group is all about. I wanted to give you some suggestions, however, for improvement of the scheme. And they come from us, a well-established group with plenty of resource in terms of time and expertise. If we're having trouble with these things, then I'm sure other West Local groups are having trouble. So one, the workload for community groups in running West Local is too high. We would like to propose that the funding includes the money to employ a project manager for the group, rather than it having to be taken on voluntarily within the group. Secondly, the West Local Officers team needs more capacity for them to be able to support us better. It's not that they're not working hard, it's that they haven't got enough capacity. Thirdly, we think there needs to be a re-evaluation of the way the chain of command works in West Local, and those groups involved need to be transparently told what that chain of command is. We spend an awful lot of time asking questions of people who then say they have to go and get clearance and come back to us, and a week passes and we don't get our needs met in that time. It's frustrating and time-consuming. It's particularly in the comms team, actually, but it's happened in other areas too. Fourthly, we think there needs to be a contract fully in place before operations start. We don't have a contract yet. We're running 2 bus services. And it needs to be tailored and co-created with the groups and with the operator to be suitable for a not-for-profit scheme. Because at the moment, the bus operator is expected to find the money to pay a fine if a bus breaks down, even when they've sent an engineer to fix it and they've sent a replacement bus. The fact that it's run late means they pay a fine. And where are they supposed to find that fine money when they're running a not-for-profit service? It doesn't kind of stack up. The 5th point, the provision of bus services in the Chew Valley comes after many years of no provision, and because of that it takes time to build trust and for people to use these buses. We're doing well, but it will take time, and one of the key things that is standing in the way of people changing is the fear that in 2026, in March, it'll all be taken away again. And they've had that experience before, and we feel that they need reassurance soon that there is a plan for what happens next. So we would like to be meeting right now with people in Baines and in Wecker to talk about what happens at the end of the 18 months. One final point, I'm sorry, I do need to make it, that I put in a question. In my view, it was not answered helpfully. So for people-powered transport to work optimally, you need to listen to local people about their local knowledge of routes. Not allowing us to pick up at Chewton Mendip, which the route has to pass through because of the roads, only those roads are suitable, is an example of doing this. You're not listening. We know that if it stopped at Chewton Mendip, we would increase footfall, we would increase profitability for the route, and you're standing in the way of that because of a blanket rule which says you can't prioritise stopping at routes in Somerset. This, where my thumb is, this is Chewton Mendip. We pass through it, and we're not allowed to pick people up or put people down at that Somerset stop. It is ludicrous. Please think again.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Some powerful points, and I know that they will be considered, and someone get back to you on that, and really are appreciative of you taking the time and bringing that to us, so thank you. Just to say that there were 6 questions that were submitted prior to the meeting that have been published with the responses on the website alongside the agenda papers, and we also have 3 statements, and arrangements have been made, as you've heard, for members of the public to present those to us, so thank you very much for that. We move on then to item 6, comments from Chair of the Local Enterprise Partnership Board, and I again ask Richard to present your comments. Richard, thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and not too much to say, but just to open the sort of feedback to the agenda today, we're really pleased to see that committee members are continuing to seek to maximise the benefits of the remaining and the legacy funds. I think there are still opportunities for us to create value from those, and thank you for that work. I just wanted to particularly commend the proposals to continue with the extended funding to Invest Bristol and Bath. We know that they seek to create value in their activities and have represented the region well over many years. We know that we want to continue to seek to evolve the service that they provide, but have done a very good job working with business partners, with university partners and with industry, along with the committee members, to ensure that we are creating a strong proposition into the region when we look at inward investment, but also to go and talk out into national and international markets to share the great opportunities that exist in our region. In fact, a number of us will be doing that in Germany in a couple of weeks' time, when it's a strong opportunity to be part of city delegations and to represent the west of England so powerfully. So we're pleased that that's happening, and we hope that as we move into our growth plan objectives, that we can use Invest Bristol and Bath to continue to really tell a powerful story, and we've got lots to be optimistic about, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Richard. Really appreciate the work that you've been doing on that. Okay. Next item is item 7, with comments from the Chair of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee. Actually, the Chair has sent her apologies today. We wish her well, but warm welcome to Jerome, who is invited to address the committee and present any comments from the Overview and Scrutiny. Over to you, Jerome. Welcome.
No particular comments today. Our main comments are for the combined authority. We did welcome in the Scrutiny Committee Dan Norris's comments on the Portishead line, and questions were also asked about North Somerset and whether they might be joining the authority, and it's very helpful to have had that update today, so thank you.
Great, thank you very much. I look forward to hearing more later in the West of England Combined Authority Committee meeting. Next item is comments from the Chair of Audit and Committee, and again the Chair of Audit Committee has sent his apologies for this meeting. We don't have substitutes, so we will move straight on to item 9, the Local Enterprise Partnership and Invest Bristol and Bath forecast, which is pages 11 to 26 in our pack. This report takes us through the forecast of the LEP budget and change requests, including new recommendations set out. This includes, among other things, a £1 million extension to our regional inward investment service, Invest Bristol and Bath, The extension affords us the time to ensure our inward investment strategy is fully aligned with wider national policy developments, with the idea that a refreshed longer-term business case is considered in 2025. And at recommendation 4, support sought for an ambitious bid to be submitted to the next round of the government's social housing decarbonisation fund, which is aiming to deliver up to £500 million of projects over 3 years across the southwest via the Southwest Net Zero Hub. So do I have any comments from anyone on this, please? Okay, then I move the report recommendations. Could I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Tony. Did you want to speak to that at all, a seconder? Okay, in that case then, if there are no other comments, we'll move to the votes. There are 4 recommendations in the report, and we'll take each report individually. So recommendation 1 is for noting with any comments, and unless there are any comments at this point, we'll move on to recommendations 2 and 3. Can I have a vote on that, please? All happy with that? And recommendation 4, and again, have a vote on that, and all happy with that. Recommendation 1 is to note the revised analysis of the LEP external grants, so that has gone through, and yeah, so we're happy with that. In that case, then that is all done for this. I said it was going to be a light agenda, so thank you very much. And thank you to everyone for attending, and I'm sure we'll see most of you later for the West of England Combined Authority Committee meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Chair.